They told you God had only one face. But what if I told you there's a name so forbidden, so ancient, so powerful, that the early church declared speaking it a heresy, a name that binds light and darkness, heaven and the abyss, a name whispered in torn scrolls, a name feared by angels, a name that was almost erased from history, Abraxas. What if I told you that behind the veil of Scripture, behind the stories you were taught to accept without question, there is a God who is both creator and destroyer, a being who transcends the duality of good and evil? What if I told you the world you see is only one half of the truth? Welcome, chosen one. You were meant to hear this before we go deeper into the hidden corridors of ancient faith. Like and subscribe to this channel. New revelations await you. And trust me, you don't want to miss what comes next. The name Abraxas appears like a burning ember in the shadows of early Christianity, not in the mainstream texts, but in the forbidden ones, the ones bishops tried to bury, the ones emperors ordered burned, the ones that were whispered among desert mystics who believed that truth survives not on paper, but in the soul of the listener. This is where the story begins. Picture this, a dimly lit room, a circle of early believers, not the Roman-led church, but the ones who sought God in the cracks of reality. A single oil lamp flickers, shadows tremble on stone walls, and in the center, an elder unrolls a papyrus scroll so ancient that its edges crumble like ash. He leans forward and whispers a name that causes even the flame to bow, Abraxas. The room falls silent, because this is not a name you speak casually. It is a cosmic equation, a symbol, a revelation, a word that means the one who holds all things together. But why would the church fear such a name? Why would they call it heresy? Why would they try to bury it? The answer lies in a forgotten war. Not a war of armies, a war of ideas, a war about the true nature of God. You see, early Christianity wasn't a single river. It was a storm of currents. Gnostics, mystics, philosophers, desert saints, all trying to understand the infinite, all asking the question, who or what is God? And in that spiritual chaos, one idea threatened everything. The idea that God is not divided into good versus evil, light versus darkness, heaven versus hell, that God is all. The church could not accept this, because if God is all, then the lines separating holy and unholy start to blur, and the institution thrives on those lines. But Abraxas, the forbidden name, destroyed the lines completely. Let me show you why. The ancient mystics believed Abraxas was the hidden unity, the source behind the god of light and the god of shadow. Not a demon, not an angel, not a pagan deity, but the one before all categories, a being whose nature was too vast, too untamed, too paradoxical to be claimed by any religion. They called him the supreme Aeon, the breath behind creation, the power that breaks the wheel of fate. But what terrified the church most was a simple truth. If Abraxas is real, then good and evil are not enemies. They are instruments. And that idea, that cosmic revelation, could crumble the foundations of every religious hierarchy. And so the name became forbidden, hidden, erased. Not because it was false, but because it was too powerful, because it freed the human soul. But let's go deeper. Imagine for a moment you are standing on the edge of creation, behind you, the world you know. Ahead, the shimmering void where angels are born and destinies are written. And in that cosmic silence, a voice speaks 3 syllables that ripple through the fabric of existence. Abraxas, each syllable an element, air, fire, the unknown, not a name, but a vibration, a frequency that bridges heaven and earth. Gnostics believed that the one who understands this name can see through illusions, can walk beyond fear, can rise above the world of shadows and reclaim their spiritual inheritance. That's why even today abandoned temples in Egypt are carved with the symbol. A rooster-headed being, holding a shield, standing on coils of eternity, the symbol of Abraxas, half divine, half monstrous, because true power requires embracing both sides of the self. But the church wanted a simple God, easy to explain, easy to control, a God with only one face. Abraxas had 7. Feel that chill down your spine. Good. That means your spirit remembers. Let's keep going. And if you're still watching, you are one of the rare ones. Hit the like button so others who are meant to hear this can find it. Subscribe, because part 2 of this revelation will tear the veil even further. Now, what exactly did the early church fear? They feared that Abraxas shattered the idea of a cosmic villain, a devil opposing God. In Gnostic understanding, the devil is not a rival. He is a misunderstood architect, a being that shapes the material world, while the divine shapes the spiritual. 2 functions of the same source, 2 sides of one coin. Abraxas represents the unity of opposites, the convergence point where light and dark kneel before the same throne. This was not a safe idea, not for rulers, not for empires, not for priests, because if darkness is part of the divine plan, then fear loses its chains. If light and shadow are siblings, then control dissolves. If God is all, then no one can monopolize God. This was the real heresy, not the name, the truth behind the name. Let me take you even deeper. In ancient numerology, the name Abraxas adds up to 365, the number of days in a year. The mystics used this to symbolize that Abraxas governs every layer of reality, not just the heavens, not just the earth, but all 365 realms between mortal life and divine eternity. To speak the name was to claim freedom from fate itself, to declare that your life was not a prison, not a punishment, not a cosmic accident, but a journey of awakening. This is why early mystics wore carved gemstones with the figure of Abraxas on them, not as idols, but as reminders that the divine spark within them could not be extinguished. Do you see now why the bishops were terrified? If ordinary believers discovered this idea, that the divine flame burns inside them without needing permission from priests or emperors, the entire system collapses. And so the scrolls were hidden, the teachers were silenced, the symbols were condemned, the name was forbidden. But truth is resilient. It whispers, it survives, it waits for the chosen, just like it waited for you. We are about to cross a boundary. If you continue past this point, you will not hear just history, but revelation. It is an unveiling, a slow tearing of the curtain that has hidden the machinery of creation from human eyes for thousands of years. You're still here. That means you are ready. Most people turn back, but not you. Never you. So listen closely, because what comes next is the very reason the name Abraxas was sealed behind the walls of forbidden knowledge. The ancient mystics believed that Abraxas was not merely a god, but the force above all gods, even above the one who shaped the physical universe. To understand why this terrified the church, you must first understand the structure of reality as the early Gnostics saw it. Not the simple heaven and earth model taught in Sunday sermons, but a vast cosmic hierarchy of light, shadow, and memory. a ladder of worlds, the pleroma, the fullness of divine light, the Aeons, divine emanations of the Source, the Demiurge, the architect of the physical realm, the Archons, guardians of illusion and destiny, humanity, souls trapped in matter, yet carrying a spark of the divine, and standing above all of it, beyond light, beyond shadow, beyond even the Source itself, is Abraxas, the uncontainable, the paradox, the silence behind all sound. Imagine this, the universe as a grand cathedral. The Demiurge built the walls. The Aeons fill it with light. The Archons guard the doors. But Abraxas is the architect of the architect, the force that allowed creation to happen at all. Not good, not evil, not moral, not immoral, simply beyond. This is why ancient mystics trembled when they whispered his name. To speak Abraxas was to acknowledge that even the God of Scripture is part of something greater, a truth so dangerous that empires rose and fell trying to bury it. But why? Why fear a truth so cosmic? Because the moment you realize that God is greater than the categories humans created, the moment you understand that the divine lives within you, not merely above you, you stop being controllable. You stop being fearful. You stop being obedient to systems built on spiritual dependency. The bishops knew this. The emperors knew this. The scholars knew this, so they erased the name, not because they didn't believe in it, but because they believed in it too much. Let's go deeper, much deeper. The symbol of Abraxas, the rooster-headed, serpent-legged being, is not a monster. It is a code. Every part of it is a message sent across centuries. The rooster head represents awakening, the dawn of consciousness, the call to rise from spiritual sleep. The human torso represents will, the ability of the soul to choose its path beyond fate. The serpent legs represent eternity, the endless cycles of life, death, and rebirth. And the shield and whip represent authority over both creation and chaos. This is not a symbol of fear. It is a symbol of mastery, of union, of transcendence. The ancient mystics believed that Abraxas was the only being who could hold both heaven and hell in the same hand without being shattered. And if humanity discovered this truth, we could rise above the illusions that bind us. Do you feel that? That stirring inside your spirit? That quiet remembering? It's not your imagination, it's recognition. Your soul has seen this truth before, long before this life. And now, you're hearing it again. But here is the revelation few have dared to speak. The forbidden god Abraxas was believed to sit above the very concept of salvation and damnation, above sin, above judgment, above reward, above punishment. Because to Abraxas all things are part of the same whole: light, darkness, joy, suffering, wisdom, ignorance, not enemies, partners in creation. This idea is what made the early church tremble. Because if heaven and hell are part of the same plan, then salvation cannot be sold. Fear cannot be weaponized. Faith cannot be controlled. Abraxas represented a spirituality the world was not ready for. A spirituality based not on fear, but on awakening. Let's go even deeper, past the point of comfort, past the edge of the known. Because what I'm about to reveal is the exact reason the name Abraxas was condemned as heresy. The early Gnostics taught that when a soul dies, it does not go straight to heaven or hell. Instead, it rises through the 7 gates of the Archons, each one testing your memories, your fears, your attachments, your illusions. The unprepared soul gets recycled, returned to flesh, to learn again. But the awakened soul, the one who understands the unity of all things, the one who knows the true nature of God, passes through the Archons like light through water. And when that soul reaches the top, it stands before Abraxas, the one who sees all lifetimes at once. And that soul becomes free from the wheel of rebirth. That is the ultimate heresy. The liberation of the human soul without the permission of any earthly institution, no church, no priest, no emperor. Just you and the divine flame within you. This is why they erased the name. This is why they burned the scrolls. This is why they silenced the mystics. Because a humanity that knows itself cannot be ruled. If you're still listening, you are not here by accident. You are one of the few chosen to hear this message. Take a moment, breathe, feel your spirit expand. And if this speaks to you, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and prepare for the final revelation. Because Part 3 will answer the question that has haunted mystics for 2,000 years. What happens when a human soul awakens Abraxas within themselves? What does it mean to carry the forbidden flame? What destiny unfolds when your spirit breaks the chains of the Archons and stands unbound? In Part 3, you will learn the secret that even mystics feared to write down. The secret of your own divinity, your own power, your own cosmic inheritance. This final segment opens a door that cannot be closed again. Not once you've heard it. Not once your spirit recognizes its reflection in the forbidden flame. Breathe slowly. Let your mind quiet. Let your soul listen. We are entering the realm that even the mystics wrote about only in riddles, the realm of awakening Abraxas within. For thousands of years, religions, empires, and institutions taught humanity to fear itself, to fear its desires, to fear its doubts, to fear its own power, to fear its own darkness. Because a fearful soul is an obedient soul. A divided soul is a controllable soul. But the mystics who worshipped Abraxas saw something different, something revolutionary. That human beings carry within themselves a spark of the same power that shapes the stars. Not a metaphor, not poetry, a literal spiritual truth. A flame of the divine, a piece of the infinite, a fragment of the source. The church feared this idea because it meant humans didn't need gatekeepers between them and God. Abraxas represented the ultimate spiritual threat, the possibility that every soul is its own doorway to the divine. But here is the secret even the mystics kept hidden. Abraxas is not a god you worship. Not a being you bow to, not a deity demanding loyalty. Abraxas is a state of consciousness, a spiritual fusion where all opposites dissolve, where your light and your shadow stop fighting and finally become one, where you realize your fears are just unawakened parts of your soul, where your wounds become your teachers, where your darkness becomes fuel for your light. Where you no longer pray as someone begging for answers, but as someone who carries the answer within themselves. This is what it means to awaken Abraxas. But let's go even deeper. In the Gnostic tradition, a human who awakens Abraxas goes through 5 stages. Stages so sacred they were never written plainly in any surviving scroll. They were passed through whispers, from teacher to student, in caves, deserts, and forgotten monasteries. Tonight, they are being whispered to you. The first stage, the stirring. It begins with questioning, a restlessness in your spirit, a sense that the world you see is not the full reality, that something is hidden, something is calling. You felt this long before this video. That is why you are here. The second stage, the shattering. Your old beliefs begin to crack. The boxes you placed God into no longer fit. The simple answers stop satisfying your soul. You begin to see that truth does not fear questions. Only lies do. The third stage, the shadow unveiled. This is where most turn back, because here you confront the darkness within yourself, not as an enemy, but as a mirror, a teacher, a forgotten piece of your forgotten wholeness. The mystics taught that Abraxas cannot be awakened in a divided soul. Your shadow must be claimed, not rejected. The fourth stage, the fusion. This is the moment light and darkness stop fighting. The moment the inner war ends, the moment the soul becomes whole again. This is where your power returns, your clarity, your intuition, your divine authority. This is why the Church feared Abraxas, because a fused soul is ungovernable. The fifth stage, the crown of silence. A state of stillness where the voice of the divine speaks from within. Where you no longer chase answers, they arrive. Where you no longer fear destiny, you shape it. Where you no longer feel separate from God, you feel like a spark from the same eternal fire. This is awakening Abraxas, not worship, not ritual, not dogma, awareness, union, wholeness. But here is the climax, the revelation that ties everything together. The reason the name Abraxas was forbidden was not because it represented a rival to God, but because it represented the God within you. The God your soul remembers, the God your spirit resembles, the God your destiny reflects. A God who is not up there, trapped in a heaven of gold, but a God who breathes through you in every moment, in every heartbeat. A God who unites your courage and your fear, your strength and your weakness, your joy and your pain. A God who sees you not as broken, but as unfolding, not as lost, but as returning. Abraxas is the name of the divine wholeness within you, and that truth was too powerful for kingdoms to allow. You are not here by coincidence. Your soul brought you to this moment. Your curiosity was the key. Your courage was the door. Now your awakening has already begun. And if your spirit is still trembling, your mind racing, your heart expanding, good. That means the veil has been torn, and you are no longer asleep. Before we close this sacred moment, promise me one thing. Do not let this revelation fade like a dream. Nurture it, reflect on it, return to it. And if you want more teachings on the hidden truths the world tried to bury, like this video, subscribe to this channel, and expect another revelation in the next episode. This journey has only begun. And now, a final warning, not of fear, but of awakening. The moment you hear the name Abraxas, the moment you understand its meaning, your life will no longer move the way it did before. Because once the soul remembers its forgotten power, nothing can unremember it. The world may try to pull you back. Your past may try to reclaim you. Your doubts may try to silence you. But you have crossed the threshold. You have heard the forbidden truth. You have awakened the seed of Abraxas. Walk carefully. Walk boldly. Walk awake. Until the next revelation, stay luminous, stay awakened, and stay subscribed.